Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are back on the M3. We've got a lot of stuff to do on it today. We've got a bunch of wiring that needs to happen. We've got a lot of fuel stuff going on. Nate's actually already got the what is it thing? What's that thing called? What's the thing called, Nate, that sends the fuel?
The fuel sending unit?
Yeah, the sending unit, the pump, everything, it's all done, right?
Well, I really didn't have to do anything. I was kind of just pulling it out to see how to wire it, but let's show them how we're going to do that.
All right, guys, so right here we have our factory sending unit. It's right here underneath this little cover. And the thing about this motor is it's a brushless motor, so it does not have the typical 2-wire connection. What it has is a 3-wire connection. I don't know why, but there's some sort of electronic magic that goes on inside there that makes it a 3-wire instead of a 2-wire. And so Nate and I have come up with a perfect idea, perfect solution. We've got this little motor controller here, and when we hook this up to the pump works. And not only does it work, but we also have a speed controller here, so we'll be able to give it more fuel pressure or less fuel pressure depending on what the car wants. So that's really cool. Once we get that all installed and dialed in, it'll be perfect, it'll be adjustable, and it also has a kill switch on it as well in case I want to park in a very shady part of town. I can easily just cut this off and the car will not start. So I just told everybody that, and now it's not even a big secret, so I hope the thieves are not watching. But anyway, so we need to mount this right here. As you can see, here is our fuel control unit. I'm guessing that little box that says 12 volt right there, it probably, does the same thing that this box does here. But since BMW technicians like to overcomplicate things, we are going to simplify things. So this, if you can recognize this, drop in the comments below what you think this is, or if you know what it is, just be a little know-it-all and drop it in the comments. So Nate's gonna hook this up, and then what's next, Nate?
Next is gonna be to actually make the body control harness, which we have this harness over here.
This right here is the brains, the new brains of the transmission. She's now going to have a ECU and a GCU, whereas by factory it only has just the ECU, and the transmission is controlled by that. So it's a little bit more stuff going in, a little bit more wiring, but guess what? Nate's the GOAT when it comes to stuff like this. He's gonna take care of it. He's gonna get it all wired in. Right here, we already have our wires coming out. What are you thinking, Nate? You wanna stick it down in here?
It's definitely going in there. I mean, here's the thing. We're gonna be removing this block right here, which is for the electric steering, and I think it also for the fan. So that power distribution block is gonna be gone, and I can clean things up in there. Hopefully, I can fit the ECU in there too, but I know for a fact that the transmission controller is going in that box right there.
All right, but you also have to be careful because there is some sort of drainage going on here.
Yeah, of course.
Is there not a drain here or something? Why is that?
I don't know what that is.
That's very interesting. It looks like to be a water catcher, but there's no drain. So that's kind of interesting. But all this, I want to put all this back original. That way when we're driving out, we're going to be out there when it's raining.
It's going to be 100% original.
All right, just making sure. Just making sure, man. So this is going to be gone?
No, you need this.
What's
Some
that
of this
for?
you need. Well, half of this harness is for your headlights.
Oh, and then the other half is for the fans.
For the fans and the thing.
Okay, so we don't want to cut anything.
Not going to be cutting anything.
We don't want to cut anything on the car. We don't want to do any body modifications. I hate body modifications because once you do one little body modification, that car is done. It's over.
But
so
this harness will probably come apart.
It can come apart, but I don't want, even if we cut the harness, as long as it's not something that's attached to the car.
Yeah, we're not going to do anything attached to the car. We're not going to do any actual modifications to this car.
Yeah.
That way, whenever we release this kit, anybody can do it, and it's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah, that way you can save all your stock stuff and put this motor in, and then if you wanted to, you could put all your stock stuff back in, like, if you got an engine or whatever. So a lot of you guys out there spinning your crank hubs and blowing these motors up, we might have a option for you guys with this.
Yeah, because it fits so good. Honestly, it's more symmetrical than the BMW motor. Everything is just lines up beautifully, I think.
It sits in there so nice. I love the way it sits, and it's not sitting too far forward. It's perfectly balanced. And I think that if we develop a working kit where we can get everything to hook up, AC, heater core, and you don't have to modify the body. You know, it might be something that is actually feasible for people.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a lot less maintenance on this motor right here than there is with the S55. Yeah. You've got a lot of stuff going on. You've got twin turbos on that motor. You've got insane timing system. This thing right here is just raw power. It's just like a big block of energy sitting under your hood, and it's not going to leak oil. It's, you know, it's a really good swap, I think. Alright guys, so we are here on Saturday. It is time to do some cranking on the M3, and we've got a lot of stuff done. We actually got the radiator mounted into its factory position. Check it out. Look how clean that is. I think that's really nice looking. Everything fits right where it's supposed to. Look at that clearance. It's a little bit close, so when you put the pins in, you know, you've got like, I mean, it's really close. But guess what? It's gonna be fine. Even if it strikes it a little bit, I don't think it's gonna do anything to it. Not that it will. Not that I want it to.
And look, it's got the factory pins.
Factory pins that go in here. So, you know, the car is, it's stock-ish. Stockish. Hey, that's a good t-shirt right there, Nate. Stockish. I think that's gonna be our new merch. It's gonna have the BMW on there, and it's just gonna look regular, and it's just gonna say stockish.
Yes, sir.
All right, so what else did we do? We went ahead and installed all the coil packs. We went ahead and installed the injectors, the fuel rail here. As you guys can see, these wires here do not fit our custom Super Duty, super special injectors. So therefore we have to put pigtails on there, which I already ordered. They already came in, so that's something that needs to be done right there. And then also we went ahead and installed our headers. And man, I am so happy with how they fit. Guys, we went through $1,000 worth of headers before, and that was what, 3 pairs of headers?
Yeah, let's just show them the headers.
Yeah, look, right here. So, huge shout out to Lee C Parts for hooking us up with our first set of headers. One side worked really well. The other side would have worked with small modifications, but his eyes got real big when we told him we were gonna cut them up, so we decided we're not gonna cut them up. And then also huge shout out to eBay Motors, who also had absolutely no problem taking our money for the headers. But that's all a learning process, guys. And this is not going to be our last LS project. So keeping these headers around, I think, is in my best interest, because I don't want to return them. You know, I'm just not that guy.
I just see 3 future projects. That I see maybe a truck, you know, maybe some sort of car with a big engine bay, and like a Camaro.
Yeah, and guys, I don't believe in buying parts and then when I realize that they don't work for me, opening up a return and sending them back, because, you know, that's a hassle for the seller. That's causing him to lose time and money, and it's my fault that I'm doing something stupid over here. So these headers are gonna stay. They're actually all really nice headers, maybe besides these right here, these Chinese ones. But hey, if somebody out there needs a set of headers, hit us up. I mean, we'll hook you up. But yeah, we ended up spending around $1,000 for all 3 sets. And then we went out and we spent $1,000 on one set. And this one set, we're not going to mention the company that these came from, simply because they did not want to work with us. They did not want to even give us, they didn't even want to give us like $1 off. So it's a secret. I want to give a huge shout out to all the companies that we have been working with. The first company is the Hot Rod Company. That is the company that we got the motor from. They are based in Spokane, Washington. They do hundreds and hundreds of motors every month. They build motors for everybody. You can see them on Motor Trend. You can see them on Velocity, on Discovery. These guys really know their stuff. So check out their YouTube channel. We'll drop it in the link. Go hit your subscribe button. Tell them Yuri sent you. Tell them that we're super excited about the motor, to see it run, and we are very happy with it so far. So go check them out, and if you need a motor, hit them up. They can hook you up. Of course, tell them I sent you. And then the second company is Seems Legit Garage. They are a supplier of all the European parts that you need to connect the DCT to the LS engine. So they source the adapter plate for us. They got the GCU for us. If you're doing any kind of swaps, hit up Seems Legit Garage. Their wiring harness and their customer service support and their work on the mechatronics is outstanding. We did test the transmission. Everything works perfectly, and it was just such an ease to install. I think if we had the ECU and we had some oil in this thing, we could probably crank it up right now, because everything is hooked up. The transmission is hooked up. It's ready to go. It's just so easy to do. It does take a little bit of time, because, you know, we have to make sure to do everything right, but I'm very happy with it. I didn't even know that, you know, you could get stuff like this, like the HTG tuning, the GCU tuner. The really cool thing about the HTG system is their new closed loop system is having been said even to be better than the stock M3 setup. So, you know, the DCT is a pretty complicated system, but they are simplifying it with everything. Even Adam LZ put it on his Supra. If you go look at that, just the way it sounds, the way it works, the way it shifts, I love it, especially where you can have the pedal and an automatic vehicle at the same time. That's really cool. I never knew that was possible. I only found out about that like a couple months ago when Nate started telling me about it, and when he ordered the GCU, and it just blew my mind that you could do something like that. So I'm thinking we might even do a little H pattern in there with a pedal.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be awesome, dude. That would just blow my mind, because how can you have an automatic car and a manual car at the same time, right?
Yeah. So
all right.
What's next?
All right, so what we probably need to go ahead and do is lift it up and start thinking about that exhaust system, because I think that's going to be one of the most complicated parts of this process so far, is going to be making sure that that exhaust clears everything and make sure it fits and weld it all up nicely. And we're probably going to make V-Tune do it.
Yeah, I could build a custom exhaust for it. Just send it straight out the side, just like that. You might have to cut the car in half.
Yep. I already got the string right there, Ben.
That's last year's joke. That joke doesn't even apply to this day.
Ben, what do you think? we can use that as a reference point.
Got the LS now.
Look, if we go from right here to right there, that'll give us.
Wait, so now let's be serious. So what's next on this build? Now let's be serious. Let's not do that.
No, we need to build the exhaust, man. You trying to do it for me?
You don't need exhaust. It's just straight pipe.
Just flat pipes at the side.
I would just make them come out the fender or something. Just make it gnarly, you know.
I actually thought about that. No, you know what I was thinking? What if I sent them up into the cabin? That way we don't have to do the heater.
Yeah.
You know, 2-for-1 special. Send them through there. It's called exhaust collecting.
It'd be a sleep machine.
It'd be a sleeper for sure.
Oh, dang, it looks.
All right, let's lift it up and see what we got going on underneath. All right, so we are underneath the car here, and as you guys can see, we have our catalytic converters right here, and we need to extend our exhaust, that way it goes out the back of the car. And as much as I don't want to do this, I do believe that we need to go ahead and cut these off right here. I love V-bands, they're really nice, but the clearance issue right here between the heat shield and the V-band is basically not there at all. So I'm thinking if we put the clamp on here, it's going to be even worse. So since we have this flex pipe here, and since this will come off easily with all this welded up, I think we can make one full exhaust all the way out the back, and it'll just, you can just pick it up. So we got the exhaust almost finished up. We've got it welded up all the way from the cats to the rear diff here. As you can see, we've got two nice pipes exiting right here. And so what we need to do is we need to continue these two pipes straight out the back just like that, because everybody keeps telling me to put a muffler on it. But I'm gonna obviously do the exact opposite of what everybody's telling me to do. So therefore I'm going to do these pipes right here, and it's going to be just like that right there. Look, bam. A little bit longer, just so the tips stick out, just a hair. Look at that. Go look at the back, Nate. Show them how it's gonna look.
Oh yeah, that's gonna look good.
It's gonna fill that hole real nice because, you know, we're all about filling holes around here, and we're not about mufflers. But if it is too loud and I can't drive it without getting harassed by everybody around me, I will probably put a little bitty muffler on it, like a really small one. But right now what we want to do, we want to go ahead and put the oil into the engine and crank it up just to see if it starts. You know, because we don't even know if it starts. Put a little oil into the oil filter. Nate doesn't believe in that, but I'm a firm believer of pre-lubing the luber.
Oh, we ain't got a dipstick now, do we?
Nope. I tried to buy one, but look, we got wicks.
What we got going on over here, you?
All right, so we've temporarily wired everything up to the starter button, and we're going to try to start it up.